able to add the chat, right? That's fine.
Yeah, and I think as far as what the roles are going to be here for this one, with that sniper, Formal's really just been playing in a more anchor position, kind of just playing back, getting a few one-shots, preventing the enemy team from being able to move past that invisible 50-yard line that have kind of been established here on the map. And another clean pickup there. Tusto is able to get the better of Formal. Of course, as we take a look at that scoreboard, it's only just looking up for the Blue Squad off the gaming 13-8. And each time we go to a member of Complexity, they seem to be trapped in the middle of either a solo fight or just not in a position where they're going to be able to have any impact. So they're one shot and have to bail out of there. And that's difficult, right? When you're removing those numbers each and every time from each confrontation, you go into the fight with a more advantageous position. I was going to say he juked him there. My man's ankles would have just shattered.
Duck and dive, but 25 seconds for that snipe to be popped back up. We're gonna have to see, can Complexity get on over there towards that weapon? I mean, 6 kill difference, there's still plenty of time to go over there, but we're also seeing Optic uncharacteristically pushing out over toward Yard, challenging a fight way further away from this desired weapon. And now all of a sudden, Optic are kind of pinned over here at Snipe. They don't have as many angles they'd like. They don't have over towards Cafe. They don't have LR fully under control, but looks like Lucid gonna drop a couple kills. 3rd kill coming on to King Nick, and that's gonna be Sniper as the reward there for Trippy from Optic.
Yeah, and he's looking for a few more as well. And something else to note too, I don't think Complexity have even crossed in this side of the map for the entire time that we've been on the perspective of I think Trippy and Lucid. So the furthest I think that we were able to get at any point in time was when Guilt made his way out toward mid. And outside of that, it has been just a complete territorial shutdown by Optic, which is really impressive to see this kind of map control and coordination. And you're also seeing it too kind of play out, Dave, in that a few of those moments, right, you have those 1 or 2 players that are going to stay back, and then it's almost like they send the other 2 as like rabid hounds, and they're like, sick them. And then they go right after them each and every time, and it's working out beautifully for them. It's working out beautifully for Trippy as well. He's looking for another one. Challenge around the corner, though. Might get the no scope. Does not happen for him. Gorgeous.
Great use of that repulse. We don't really see that used as much horizontally to try to fly away, kind of almost use it as a thruster. But great use there, obviously knowing and been in that situation before. Sometimes that corner there over at the snipe side can almost feel like a fake safe haven. You go there like, I'm safe for a second, but all of a sudden there's an easy bank of a nade up that ramp. And you're just kind of trapped in that corner. So yes, you're safe for a moment from BR fire, but the impending death is upon you.
Now, of course, Carmia here with the Quantum Translocator. Once he pops the button, he'll be able to go right back to safety up top nest. But they have to use this push effectively here. He's able to get one, might even get a second one, but backs away in the nick of time. And that's exactly what you want to see with the Quantum. Unfortunately, Carmia could not stay alive. He knew exactly where that player was going to be challenging him from, and just could not work out in his favor, though.
And it feels like we once again see Optic having Complexity stuck in the yard. I actually want to go to Optic listening to hear how they're coordinating and setting up these spawn traps.
He's got a loop, I think. Not sure. Maybe those back there. Okay, bottom in. One guy.
Next side, spawn. Bot side, been chuck. Bot side, been chuck.
Go, post check. That's the guy. And one left inside.
Yeah, posters. Posters.
You guys upside.
The posters. The posters.
Post one, yard. Post with me.
Yeah, you want to buy I got shot 3, 2.
LR hold 1.
We're pushing left some more, Tommy.
LR hold 1.
Top goal.
Okay,
we can fight. Yo, you guys
wait,
come
I'm
fight.
we can fight this.
They didn't come to me.
I'm hiding as one.
Fighting these guys. Driveway.
Nice, guys.
Should be yard. Should be tram somewhere, guys. Should be tram.
Check corner.
Two dead. Double on map.
Look at map.
Gilky's weak on concrete.
Really good.
Driveway, guys. Driveway.
Concrete.
Driveway. Absolutely.
Nice.
Concrete half. Still sitting behind concrete.
Stop.
New sign is coming.
Yo, one guy high window.
Concrete weak.
Hear that. High window still.
I can help in yard. Look at snipe still, Tommy.
Hear that. Yeah, just keep watching me, Brad. Keep watching me.
Yo, cloud door mat. I'm right here with you.
Yo, 2 guys looking at me, Brad. 2 guys here. Look at cloud door.
Cloud door one.
Good.
Goki.
They got sniped. They
We
got
have
sniped.
one. We have one.
Okay,
Thrust down there, Matt. Thrust down.
He
Back
has
gate, back gate.
snipe on truck. I'm coming to you, Matt. I'm coming to you.
Excellent small talk that we were hearing there from Optic. You had a few of those moments where they were talking about, okay, are they going to go for this fight? Are they going to try and push this here? And Lucid had the intel as the more forward player in that particular instance. And the way that he's trying to just bait out these shots and then put these players in like really bad positions so that his teammates can go in there and benefit him, very, very well done. That was good listening there for Optic.
Yeah, the one takeaway also when it comes to fighting over towards that yard or different locations they're saying, hey, I think we can fight this, or I think we have the numbers. And so allowing his teammates to contradict that if needed. They're saying, no, we're already making a push towards hotel. We don't have the firepower needed. Rather than sometimes you'll see kind of these IGLs or playmakers in the game say, hey, we're charging this, let's go for this.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
almost demanding and assuming they have the backup.
Great value there for Formo. He was in a really bad position, but he had the help up top and was able to pick up the player in the catwalk. That's going to be 49. One frag remaining. APG's in a pretty good spot to go after it, though. But of course, it's going to be the UAV who finds it, and a spectacular for Optic Gaming. Makes the green wall quite happy. But of course, job's not done yet. One more game for Optic. Complexity has to find it within themselves to come back into this. They were pinned on the yard side of the map like 70% of the time. Unfortunately, you just can't win Plaza there. It's just not doable.
No, and the only time they really got out of the yard is when Optic kind of overextended and made a larger push and spawned them over at Snipe, and then all of a sudden Ham's trapped over at Snipe and Posters.
Yeah, gorgeously played though by Trippy. Dropping 18 on that one. Same thing with Lucid, but everyone was contributing effectively in that last game. And the objective, once again, pin them, keep them away from any comfort positions. They did just that off the gaming. So now they're up 2-0. And we'll see whether or not Complexity can find it within themselves to bring it back into map 3. But again, this is a difficult
I'm gonna
series.
get stopped out of these shorts
You're playing against an
again.
Optic that just needs to make some statements here. And I think they certainly did
but it
make a
looks so
statement on the
valid.
Solitude game because they just shut them down completely.
Yeah, incredible performance there from Optic. These score lines have been out of control so far this game. Just, you know, sometimes we talk about like a 2-0 lead, and we're now seeing a spot where they won Chamorro. We're now seeing a spot where it's 50-28, a spectacular. Game number 2, if they keep up this momentum, they're going to be looking scary for the rest of bracket play.
Gotta say though, you know, even in looking at the scoreboard there in the final moments, Trippy with a really, really just great event. I can't say enough good things about Trippy, because even when Optic fluctuate, go up and down, Trippy always seems to be the anchor that holds it down stats-wise. Now we go over to Live Fire Oddball, a playground for a lot of these players. So we'll see if whether or not Complexity can dig deep and bring this one back, but they're going to need that reverse sweep to do so. And the way the series is gone, that's going to be tough.
It is going to be very difficult. I mean, historically, we've looked at Live Fire as being one of the strongest maps there for Optic. Specifically, you know, we've talked about Lucid and Trippy and the inception of Halo Infinite, how strong they were looking using the sandbox and all the different things they were bringing to the game. It's not the same level of dominance that we were seeing early on in Halo Infinite for Live Fire, but regardless, Optic are still so strong on this map, and the way that they've been playing thus far, they're looking unstoppable.
Yeah, they truly are. But of course, we'll see if whether or not Optic can just get a clean closeout here 3-0, or if Complexity can find it within themselves to manage to bring this one back. But the history does not really reflect well for Complexity, because they're down 0-1 on Live Fire Oddball. So having only played it once, lost it. Meanwhile, the other side, as you mentioned, Dave, Playground for Optic 2-0. They are looking quite clean this event on Live Fire Oddball, and I expect nothing different when it comes to that mapping game mode.
Yeah, we're going to have to see if they can turn it around right here, right now. Look at that player on your screen, Carmea. He was doing so much work during some of these games. We saw, even though there were some terrible score lines there overall, we'd see great moments from these members of Complexity. I think specifically Carmea's 2v1 there inside Control against Formal and Lucid. Like, great moments, but same time, you got to be able to string that to the objective. You need to be able to get those couple kills and then clear out the rest of the members of Optic and turn that around if you're going to see some sort of hope here for Complexity.
Because at that point, those kills, they're just, I hate to use this term, but they are just garbage kills. They don't really get you much. It looks good on the scoreboard. It looks good in the moment. So you really got to find ways to capitalize on those situations. Capitalize when you have Optic down. They show that they can put them in a position when Optic makes the mistake that they can do so, but it's a matter of whether or not they can maintain it, sustain it. That's where it gets really challenging for a lot of the teams that face your SSGs and Optics and phases and quadrants. It's really, really challenging because of the pace that these teams play at. Sometimes can catch you off guard. So you're going to need Complexity to, as I like to say sometimes, punch above the weight class a little bit here, which they are fully capable of doing. As we start things off, though, with Formal, we'll see how this works out. Gilkey goes straight for a fight. Unfortunately, well, actually ends up getting a trade on that one, so that kind of worked out, though.
Trade in essentially a 2v1 scenario. That's a great trade there for Gilk. Now we can see what are these teams doing to set up for this OS. Looks like first order of priority is this sniper rifle. 2 players from each side trying to contest it. Now OS coming up, Trippy versus Gilk. Who's gonna get it? Looks like Gilk goes down. Trippy grabbing the OS and Optic in the driver's seat.
Yep, Overshield ends up getting picked up by Trippy yet again, and that is just going to be a clean grab of the ball. Now, they're in a pretty good spot. They'll just bring that one back inside and just hang out with it.
Yeah, it's like, you're already scary, Trippy. Do you need the heat wave? It's like, yeah, I kind of do. Just hand it over to me. I'll go do some work.
If it's all right with you, I would like to put fear in my opponent's eyes.
Look at that one little detail there. Is as soon as Trippy was spotted out over there at Plasmas, he decides to just completely reposition. If he charges out and challenges, he knows he's going to meet too much resistance or going to meet some grenades, so he tries to take a complete different route. Now that's been long enough, goes on over towards Plasmas, gets the back smack on Tusk, and going to try to put some more damage in over near tower.
Tried his best there to catch King Nick on the corner, but this is just such a great hold here for Optic. And no, I was about to say, okay though. Problem with that is Tusk is one shot, so he can't really do much with it. He's got teammates inside, so that's all right. It works out. His teammates were there to cover him. Unfortunately, we did see a drop in the lobby, so we are going to have to more than likely restart this. But regardless of the fact, though, that was quite an interesting start, I think, for Optic, because for both teams, as a matter of fact, the way that they were playing in a very paced manner. They were kind of taking their time over by the S7 and mid, and then peeled over immediately to that OS fight. It was almost as if they were trying to make it seem like they wanted to prioritize flipping the map rather than challenging straight for the OS.
Yeah, it felt like both teams were really patient on that snipe and decided very last second to go over and challenge the snipe before the OS came up, and so it's almost like too good to be true. Like Complexity and Optic almost overextend for the snipe. Both charge up there like, wait, what? We both had the same play? Oh, you got me.
Yeah, you got me. All right, well, we're checking out SSG and G1 currently on Solitude, and we'll wait to see and jump back into that Optic game. So don't worry, folks. We'll be there very shortly. That being said, let's go ahead and take a look at this one. This is one that I've been, excited to check out, especially with the recent results of, SSG, which was quite perplexing. They came out, was it second in the group, I want to say? If I could be wrong there, I need the graphics, but I'm a ding dong. That being said, though, there is really a wild thing happening here in Fort Worth with a lot of these teams and the open bracket really just throwing a wrench into everything. So I just want to see what G1 can do here against SSG, because if there's a team that can make it happen, it certainly is going to be these guys.
Yeah, I mean, SSG got put for a run for their money over in pool play earlier today, but they still are looking solid. I mean, it's Space Station.
Yeah, shouldn't be too concerned, but I think it goes to show that the competition, man, has just gotten so freaking close. It's been really great to see these teams grow and evolve, especially so close to the Halo World Championship. Make sure you get your tickets now. Shameless plug. Thus far, though, 13-12 as it currently stands. Huss managed to pick up that quantum translocator, and he's just going to go straight into this one.
Yeah, and we're going to have to see if Space Station kind of learned their lesson here. I mean, they went down by 6 or 8 kills. I believe it was against Shopify when they lost that series. But it was like a 50-48 game that they almost kind of blew their lead. You know what I mean? Like, Space Station were down by 6 or 8, almost all the way back. And so I feel like Space Station is going to be a comfortable spot as long as they don't put themselves in a deeper hole. When they're in a lead like this right now, they are not afraid to charge and trade.
No, they are not. Make sure you catch the action on the Bravo stream as well, so don't worry about that. Go over to HCS on Twitch. check out how this game's going to conclude. I think we're going to be jumping into the game in a moment here, but we'll, of course, stick with Space Station G1 for as long as we can, just have some gameplay on the screen here. And again, genuinely curious to see what's going to happen with G1. And they managed to pick this one off. They're only down by a few. You get one round of slays, you're in this.
And I misspoke. It was LVT that they dropped the game.
Okay.
Or dropped the set to.
Okay,
and
Dave.
LV2 looking scary as well. I mean,
They really are.
forcing that three-way tie. Giving Navi that first seed. Three-way tie.
Yep. And also don't forget, like, Optic ended up taking, or G1 ended up taking Optic to 3-2. So it just goes to show, right? These teams, you just cannot sleep on them here in this tournament. You can't doubt them whatsoever. How did that nade not kill him? Okay, thank you. Justice has finally been served.
Yeah, eventually taken out, but goes to show, find that extra time as a player where you're forcing someone to jump out of a comfortable spot to finish you off as one shot. Yes, you go down, but you made that player waste nades, you made that player waste time, you made them put themselves in a vulnerable position. And you almost essentially trade a one-for-one when you're a one-shot player or a full shield player.
Man, this is looking like it's going to shape up to be a pretty darn good Slayer game on Solitude. So we're going to stick around for this one for a bit more. I'm curious to see how this one closes out. 27-27 currently. SSG in a bit of a pickle right now, as now G1 have been able to pick up the lead.
G1 in a really strong position. This is the setup that we saw from Optic earlier. They're holding over towards tower, they'll get over towards cafe and hold posters. And it's really difficult to know when to push out of yard and where to, especially when the opposing team has a sniper. It's a little less scary if they don't have a sniper because you can go over towards glass, or stop gold and lay down some shots and start to take over control of the center. But when the opposing team has sniper, anytime you poke out one of those spots and someone gets picked off, it's almost like your whole push is halted.
Look at this here. 32-32. What a game this is shaping up to be. Make sure you head over to HCS on Twitch as well as YouTube. And I think it's like somewhere over here as well if you're in the venue. So go ahead and check it out. That series looks like it's just heating up. But we did get word. We're jumping into the action, Dave. So let's see how this works out. I'm actually curious to see if the opening strat's going to be the same again.
I mean, last time we saw Gilkey YOLO it all the way over towards dummies. Not going to be the same play this time. But look at this little counter here. We got Drippy snagging that heat wave, knowing somebody's right about around him. Does not get the finish just yet, but Formal's going to help get the finish onto Karmea there.
He's got that help. It's really all that matters. They've been able to pick up a few of these frags now. Outside's going to be open. You got the overshield too. Pretty much Optic picking up exactly where they last left off. APG now charging to the back. You see those spawns happening over toward green as well. So this is just going to open a great side of the map here for Optic, because if they get pressure, they can play that ball and get right back into the fight again.
And as you look at the top left, Optic had a 36-point lead there in the round before we had to restart the game. So Optic has seen 64 points to win oddball round number 1.
Enemy has the ball.
We'll see if they can do so. So far, so good, as they are pretty much halfway to doing so. And actually fantastic rotation of the ball, bringing it over toward tower and nest, and then doubling back again because they have the numbers there and just tossing it straight over to APG. He's getting the eyes on the call-outs too, so good use of the utility now. It's just going to have to prompt Complexity to move, get their butts going as they want to get over to that ball as soon as they possibly can. But of course, APG trying his absolute best to just prevent that from happening. But as time continues to dwindle down, you got to get pedal to the metal, Cole. You got to get there ASAP.
One thing that Optic has been one of the best in the league is rotate that ball. They have Coach Lunchbox behind them, knowing how and when to rotate away from those threats. That rotated all the way over from green to nest to seed plat, all the way to key door now. And during that entire time, Optic are essentially trading kills, but going ahead in the slate department. And look at Trippy's kills right now. Objective efficiency at its finest. 0 kills on the board, 44 points on the board, and team is just dominating.
Yeah, you just need 4 more points here if you're Optic, and then you'll take that first round. Not if Complexity have other plans here, as they manage to pick up the ball, and they're trying to work this one because they know the pressure's on.
Yeah, Optic in the last game brought the steak. Trippy this game bringing the goose egg to make the complete meal, as they are going to try to close out here in game number 3, round 1.
Okay, steak and a goose egg. Now I know what your diet is. All right, great. Well, seems like the diet of Complexity, though, seems to be just domination with this ball for as long as they possibly can. And that has been working out, but you can see APG just harassing inside of the base. tough having to just play around this, but there should be a teammate there for the pickup, and that's Lucid. They're trying to make this rotation happen low, but there's too many members of Optic circling around this ball.
Yeah, Optic just need the Slays, and it's going to be disastrous. There it is. There's enough kills. Formal going to scrap up these last 2 points, and that's going to be round number 1 going in favor of Optic.
Yes, it is. Well played there. Now we'll go ahead and get that sorted out as we jump into the action. But Optic, of course, really, they started that one up just on a hot streak. They had Trippy on the flank. Gilkey kind of got the fear put in him. Didn't want to do the same thing again, which I definitely understand. But you also just gave up heat wave, flank control. There was just so much that Optic just take from you when you don't think you're giving it to them, but they'll just take it gladly.
That's correct. Yeah, sometimes when you get to see multiple starting strats, which you do in Oddball alone without a reset, is you have to have those different starts. You have to know, hey, what's our risky, high risk, high reward play? Are we going to go flying across top center and try to grab that snipe? What's our standard play? You want to have a few different base plays that you can do off the bat from each side to know how you're going to react based on what you've seen the opposing team do, based on just knowing their tendencies, based on what you feel is just going to be successful, and what's the smart play based on how your team's at.
Yeah, there's just so much that you have to take into consideration in this game. It's not as simple as charge forward and shoot in the face. There's a lot of nuance to it that oftentimes gets overlooked. Now, do want to let everyone know we're getting things just situated. Optic is up 1-0, but for right now, we'll jump over to one of the other series that we had. Just a lot of Halo. It's kind of like, what do they call that? Red Zone. We're just jumping all over the place. In any case, though, let's see how this one's shaping up. And it seems like Native White, all right. Native Red's been having a little bit of a rough tournament here, but it's great to see Native White really pick up that pace because this is a team also that had quite a few unfortunate incidents happen to them. So it's, as far as this game goes, it's two teams actually in very similar positions, kind of in a pseudo rebuild phase, if you will.
Yeah, I mean they've had to make some different roster changes from time to time, but regardless, they've always put out strong rosters and had strong placements. So these two battling out right here is a rough first round, but regardless, we're going to see a Native champion here on this very first match. If you had asked me before this tournament started, before this match started, I would have said it's Native Red. Yeah. Native Red just looking like they're starting to hit their stride. Now that they have suppressed on the roster, they're kind of moving forward with that, and the fact that Native White also dropped a map or dropped a series in pool play. Yeah, it kind of you kind of go by past history. How is the team doing so far this tournament? How has the team done historically over the past? But Native White came out to play here so far on Saturday, and oh my God, Soul Snipe. Hitting that all the way across the map against Tap and Button Snipe.
Took a soul from him, actually. That's what it felt like. He turned a corner. Just yanked the life from the boy. Being said, though, 1-0 Native Red currently up in this CTF on Argyle. Hyperhandis is Spectre. Veteran. Been there, done that many times in the past. He's going to try and anchor this one as members of Native Red are going to be tucked away inside of the base. This is quite dangerous territory for Native Red to be in as they're getting pressured on from all sorts of different angles. Back to the base as well, but look at that. You got a few players weak in the knees, able to get one, looking for another, but the spawn's coming in here, and the recovery from Native Red to just try and force these guys out of here. It's actually quite working out for them.
Yeah, I mean, great defense by Native Red, but also what a push there coming from Suspector and Native White. I had never seen somebody effectively use that angle where you're sniping essentially from bottom center and helping your teammate push in from the bottom of the base and snipe that bottom ramp. That's just like perfect coordination. You know your teammate's down there. You know they're going to be pushing from the back of the base down that ramp. Yeah. That was amazing.
Yeah, and you know exactly where that pathing is going to go because your options are so limited. They don't have a grapple shot to be able to loop around. They don't have a repulsor to try and create a more wonkier play. So it's just about controlling where these players go. And I always love to use the term herding them like cattle. That's exactly what they were able to do there. Unfortunately for them, though, it doesn't really result in much outside of just this more back and forth stalemate that we're seeing here. But if they are able to put that together time and time again, especially with these power items coming online, Dave, this could be great for Native White.
Yeah, Native White really don't want to extend the series any further. They want to see if they can close out here in Game 3, but the defense from Native Red has been too strong. And Native Red, if you tell them the game right now is slain with this being a slower pace objective game, they're going to be comfortable with that. They're going to be fine just flying across the map and trading kill after kill. But it looks like Native White, anytime they push the base, they know there's traps just set.
All right, well, guys, you can go ahead and check out that action like we said before on some of our other HCS streams. Good news is we're back in the action. Optic up 1-0. We know we're jumping around all over the place, people. Well, thank you for sticking with us. And also, we're just watching more Halo, which is always good. So let's see now if Optic can close this one out 3-0 in the series, 2-0 here in Oddball, if that's going to be doable for them.
Yeah, right off the bat, we got the Oddball all the way over a scoreboard and a rotation already starting. In a situation like this, APG can start to feign like he's going towards tower or bring it back towards garage, and that puts in a very difficult spot for Complexity because you just have the natural tendency off your spawn to start to push in the direction where that ball is. So during that time where they rotate over towards tower, they probably fake some players over from Complexity to push towards tower, and because of that, they end up reversing towards tunnel or garage.
Yeah, the only thing that worked out there for Cole was that even though Formal went in for the fight, there was more action happening in the tower area, so they were able to kind of get like a neutral play on the ball here. Oh, I thought it was Tanglin. But they are able to get a neutral play on the ball here. The issue is, again, it's about capitalizing off of those opportunities. They just did not have the numbers to be able to do so in that situation. So really, Optic still continue to control how this game is played.
Yeah, somehow, even though Complexity got that stop over near tunnel, has a decent amount of weapons, they are just in a difficult position, just trading out kills, and somehow Optic's still walking with that ball, even in a situation where they have 3 down. So during that whole flurry of exchanges of kills, 40 points on the board for Optic. Their objective efficiency is unmatched so far in Oddball here.
Carmilla's going to get mincemeat made out of him, unfortunately, as he tried to peek around this sneaky area and they get punished for that, excuse me. But Tussin Company's debating, where do we go? Where are we taking this? Well, once Carmilla spawned back tower, that's exactly where you're going to go because you're able to play that ball there. You also have that area semi-locked down.
Great rotation as well, just buying some extra time. Has his teammates spawn over near nest, and I like this play. Just look at where his teammates are at. He doesn't wait until he's killed in order to play it, and so he's going to drop that ball and then go over and get some tower control. So great play by Tusk. But is Optic one step ahead? I don't think so in this instance. Too many players here from Complexity. A bounce going down in the garage.
Yeah, actually, I really did like that play. It's just that they didn't have the overshield there, and that really helped them out in that particular instance. But I think the mentality was to just dump that ball, and of course the Needles does the work, but dump that ball and then force the movement low, which is what they achieved, especially with them picking up the overshield. They just couldn't, again, couldn't capitalize on it. Those are the things that like just really the sting of it when you go back and watch the VODs.
Yeah, I agree with the play ball. I agree with staying alive. Just felt like they didn't have the follow-up there. So just great follow-up there from Optic in order to capitalize on not pushing back with the ball. And reflects the spike grenade back onto Trippy.
Love it. Love that stuff. Of course, so one player with Sniper up top mid. 2 players down now for Complexity. What do you end up doing here? You try and even the odds a little bit, perhaps? Is Trippy trying to challenge? Do you have any help there on the far side? He does not. Yoki's pretty much in the most forward position he could possibly be, and he's being pinched by multiple members of Optic, so there's really just nowhere for him to go. The fact he's staying alive here is quite impressive. Finally gets picked.
Staying alive, but kind of falling into Trippy's trap. A situation like that, it's trappy right there. I mean, just sitting over there at the dummy ramp, there was no one in position to finish off the kill on Trippy from Complexity. So a situation like that, Trippy's going to trade damage all day long and say, guess what, we're going to have multiple angles on the tunnel. I'm going to get help fast enough. And that's a sort of risk-reward that these players are always assessing, especially the top players are saying, who's going to get help first? If I'm going to get help first, I'm going to challenge this or I'm going to buy some more time. And Trippy just traded time with Guilty and got the help.
Oh, well, only a few seconds remaining, and that's going to be a triple kill for Formal, but it doesn't matter. He gets the overshield, and he don't need it because it's game over. 3-0, Optic Gaming dominate this series in a great way for the Green Wall to start off in the champ bracket. But you're going to have to see that momentum, that drive, series after series, because it's only going to get more challenging from here on out.
Optic making quick work there, but not in the position we normally expect them to be coming out full play. They're going to have to work their way to winners bracket round 2, and they did it in dominating fashion. But the real work is just starting for them.
That's right. This next round is going to be important. World's qualification. So we'll be pretty much waiting on that one with bated breath. We have a lot of other games going on some of our other streams as well. But if you're Optic and if you're Optic fans, you're quite satisfied with that one, Dave. That was a strong, dominant performance from a team that should have come out with a strong, dominant performance.
Yeah, there's times where we look at a 3-0 victory and we say, that doesn't really reflect the
series.
level. Yeah, the series.
Yeah.
We say that was a very close, that flag game could have gone either way, or that Slayer was a couple kill differences. Not here. This was a one-sided affair.
Yeah.
In the games they needed to outslay, they heavily outslayed. In game number 2, 50-28. In the games where points and objective are the difference, you look at that last one.
Yeah.
In that very last round, it was 30-23 kills. But when you looked at how much point was on the board for Oddball, it was all Optic favored. Optic was just trading kills and coming away with time.
Yeah, they were looking good in that series, and now we're going to get a chance to hear from one of the players from Optic Gaming. We got Lucid standing by with Blaze over at the main stage. Blaze, what you got?
Come on. Guess I get it. Yeah, because we broke. No reason to call shorts.